Yakavarumpa. Yes folks, it's one of the famous Russian cameras in this time from my classic camera collection. This is the Fed 4, again a gift from another camera club member. It's a rangefinder camera. Here is a window here and there, and you get a coincident image as usual. It has interchangeable lenses. This is an f2.8 53mm Industar lens, and it takes 39mm screw-in lenses. If you unscrew it up here, screw my hand, there. This is a cam from the rangefinder here, which pushes onto the threading of the lens here and adjusts the rangefinder. I've used it very successfully and done some good work. It's quite a sharp lens at Industar. At the front here we have a delayed action setting. Now, as with all Russian cameras, you can break things if you don't do things in the correct way round. You must set the shutter first, then you use the delayed action. Which way we turn? Oh, we turn it that way. If you don't do it, you can jam things up. Oops, daisy. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Sorry about that. That's going to fire the shutter hopefully now. You set the shutter first, then you set the delayed action lever. If you don't, you'll jam the shutter. Now that's set. Now round the back of the camera is the winding on mechanism for the shutter and the release button for the shutter. Winding mechanism and the release. Again, you must change the shutter speed once you have tensioned the shutter. You change the shutter speed by lifting this up here, that's a 30th, and you can change it to brief time exposures, or you can change it to 1 second. It's the slowest speed you can get is 1 second, or it goes to a 500th and a 2/50th of a second. But whatever you do, don't turn that until you have wound on and tensioned the shutter, otherwise you'll jam it. Here is a frame counter. You have to zero it manually when you've loaded your film by turning the knob until it's on 0. Surrounding the shutter release knob is the device when you want to rewind the film. You have to lift this up. See, it's all fiddly on these cameras, and you turn that until it says, I think it says B. You turn that little milled wheel until it says B. Then to rewind the film, you turn this knob here in the direction of the arrow, and you keep rewinding and rewinding, which seems to be an age, until suddenly you hear a click and the film has come out of the take-up spool. Inside the film loading chamber you'll find the usual take-up side and the rewind side. Now the trick is, when you're going to load a Russian camera, you have to fit the film in first, like this, underneath here. Make certain it's gripped, otherwise it's going to slip out. Then you push that in there, then bring the film across into the take-up side, like that. Make certain then, by winding slightly, that the film is going to go onto the cogs and it's nice and tight. When the film is tight, you can then replace the back, slide it on, and you lock the back with these locking things here. It's like a base loading Leica really. I've taken some quite good shots. There's flash synchronization with a standard 3mm coaxial socket here, where you can plug in a flash lead. The flash synchronization speed is 1/30th of a second, so you must remember to set that on your shutter speed dial here, otherwise you won't get the correct flash synchronization. This dial here is an exposure meter system. It used to be only in GOST, which is a Russian system, but this one has ASA numbers, and I've roughly set it to 100, but you have to zero the needle somehow, and I find it doesn't really work very well, so I use a Western exposure meter. But these Russian cameras, they're quite good. They have sharp lenses, and I've done some very good work with it. So don't be afraid of using them. You just have to be very careful to do everything the correct way round. I've got another Russian one, if you want to see it, in my collection, the Zenith. But this is the famous rangefinder Fed 4. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll follow me on YouTube and make any comments in the comments box.